All right, and we are back for part 3 of Kathy Rain 2, continuing right now. So with our work wrapped up here at 4 Verdant Street, we're going to head out and basically pick our next location, next destination. Meadows trailer is out. Verdant Street is where we just came from. Bear Creek, my understanding, is a very far way away. Or is it Constance Hill? I feel like both of those are far away. Let's go to the King of Kings Cathedral.
The King of Kings Catholic Church, established 1904. Not a fan of mausoleums. Some bad shit went down last time I hung out in one of those.
I remember.
Rows and rows of buried folks. Makes me think of Grandma. I'm glad I got a chance to reconnect with her a few years ago. This place is smack dab in the middle of the city, huh?
That's why I came here. I figured it wouldn't be too far away from everything else.
Not sure what that building is, but it looks related to the church. Looks like someone is having engine trouble. There's an open toolbox on the driver's seat. Hey there, how's it going?
No time to chat, young lady. I gotta get this old bird up and running. You'll have to come back later.
Engine trouble? Can I help?
Maybe so. As long as you aren't a complete dimwit. See that toolbox?
Yeah, what about it?
It's real simple. I'll ask you for tools. You hand them over, one by one.
No problem. Sounds easy enough.
Good. Just don't hand me the wrong thing. That would be an abject disaster.
I think I can handle it. I happen to know a thing or two about engines.
That's so. There should be smooth sailing then. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm concerned that there might be a sharp divide between what Kathy Rain knows about engines and what I know about engines.
Let's not get any crazy ideas. The priest is right here if I have questions. Stained glass windows. With a new paint job and the right lighting, I bet this place could make a killer nightclub. Oh, and I've got the best name for it too. The Song of Sin. Premier Cassidy nightclub. 24/7 satanic death metal. So that's the King of Kings. It doesn't look very regal.
This seems nice enough to me. Let me just see if there's anything over here. I doubt it very much. No. All right. All right, sir.
Still waiting, young lady. The toolbox is right there.
Yeah, talk to me some more about being a dimwit, by the way.
All right, I'm ready. What do you need?
Hand over the medium-sized wrench, will ya? Not the rusty one.
So, assuming that's the rusty one, the next... If that's a 12, this is a 13. But is 13 the largest? I feel like 13 is the largest that I see, because then we've got a 10, 11, and 9. So let's go with the 11. That's medium, right?
All right. Now something to cut a wire and check the voltage.
Here's the multimeter, and then to cut the wire... Cutting pliers, I'm just worried that those are too large. Is that the smallest cutting implement that we have? Rag. Cutting pliers. All right. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Okay, that part is handled. Give me the regular pliers and then the big Phillips screwdriver.
I think that's the small one. So the big Phillips head is going to be this one? No, that's flat. Big Phillips head. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it yet. Big flat. That's a small. Small flat. Small Phillips. I am so sorry, you guys. I'm sure it's right here. The big Phillips head screwdriver. There. Okay. It's very large. And I'm sorry, he said the regular pliers? Generic pliers is probably it. Cutting pliers. Let's go with generic pliers. That seems like it's gotta be it.
Now I need the key set, the mini wrench, and the other big screwdriver, not the one you gave me before.
Oh, that's going to be this one. There's the key set. And then did he say hex wrench? I don't want to give this guy the satisfaction of asking him to repeat it. Yeah, all the wrenches are just listed as wrench. Adjustable wrench, is that the hex wrench? Oh boy, I hope so. Because that's the one I'm going to give him.
For heaven's sake. Son of a gun, that made me lose my train of thought. We'll have to start this task all over again.
Well, isn't that just great?
This guy sucks.
Give me the regular pliers and then the big Phillips screwdriver. Now I need the key set, the mini wrench, and the other big screwdriver, not the one you gave me before.
Mini wrench. Oy. Okay, so here's the big one, and then here's the key set, and then the mini wrench. So we're down to a 9 and an 8. Where did I get... Oh, you know what? Hex keys. For some reason, I put that into my head as hex wrench. Also, what did he do with the first set of tools that made him lose his train of thought and then he had to repeat that task? He's not doing long division. And even if he was, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, 8 is the smallest wrench that I see.
That's finished. What's next? Hand over the rusty wrench. Something to bash with. And the small flat screwdriver, will you?
Rusty wrench. If I was to bash anything, it'd be the rubber mallet. And then... small flat. Is that what he said? I hope so.
I got a 6-inch bolt here. A real oily little thing. First, I need something to clean it with, and then a tool to grip it properly.
Well, the cleaning is going to be the rag, and then the tool to grip a 6-inch bolt, I would think would be the adjustable wrench, because we don't have any wrenches that go down that small.
Hand me the other type of screwdriver. Same size as the last one you gave me. Also, I need a wrench 2 sizes smaller than the last fixed-size wrench.
Wasn't the last fixed-size wrench the 8? Wasn't that the mini wrench that he wanted? I'm so sorry. I wasn't taking notes on this guy's previous tool orders.
Can you repeat that?
Let's have the other screwdriver. Same size, and drop a couple of inches from the last fixed-size wrench you gave me.
Right, it was the 12, it was the rusty wrench. I take it back. So he wants the 10, and then... what was the last screwdriver that we gave him?
Can you repeat that?
Let's have the other screwdriver. Same size, and drop a couple of inches from the last fixed-size wrench you gave me.
I think that we gave him the small flat. Oh, I hope we did. And I think it's time for the small Phillips. That's my memory.
I think that did it. Hit the ignition, lass.
Okay, hang on.
Praise the Lord.
I prefer to go by Kathy, but thanks.
I didn't quite catch that, young lady.
Oh, never mind. Now I think I've deserved a little chat. You're Reverend Winters, right?
Indeed. Hugh Winters at your service. And who might you be?
The name is Rain, Kathy Rain. I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I see. Another one. Very well, ask your questions then.
Let's start with, I mean, again, we might as well get to it. This is the name of the deacon that was the deacon from this church that was killed.
Can you tell me about Deacon Townsend? What was he like as a person?
I can, if you call him Ben. That's what he always preferred.
Oh, sure, I will. What was Ben like?
I'm glad you asked, because these days most people know him as Ben, the murder victim. Isn't it a tragedy how a man's life's work can be so utterly overshadowed by his final moments?
Tragic indeed. Perhaps you can help me get a more nuanced view?
I'll try. Ben was a good man, a good Christian, and he always managed to stay optimistic despite leading quite a difficult life.
Difficult how?
I shouldn't say. He wouldn't want me to share all of his secrets. But trust me, he carried great pain.
Fair enough. Did he have any immediate family?
No, and he never married. He had distant relatives out of state, but as far as I know, they were estranged.
Okay. Next of kin?
Never came into play. He had a written will and left everything to charity.
Got it. Thanks. Care to tell me about your church?
Well, the King of Kings is a Catholic church with roots nearly as old as the city itself. These days, we're a fairly small congregation, around 200 active parishioners.
I see. So how long have you been a priest here?
Coming up on 30 years now.
Oh, wow, that's a long time.
I suppose so, yes. But I've been nothing but content here, until the murder, that is. Things will never be the same.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, the reason I really came here was to ask about the Soothsayer.
Very well, go ahead.
Were you the one who found Ben at the scene?
Yes, I was. In the rectory, right here behind us.
Do you mind if I have a look inside?
Yes, I mind. It's my home. But the police already ransacked the place, and we had the whole room refurbished for the reconsecration.
I understand. Can you walk me through what happened that night, then?
Well, I came back late, after traveling. The front door was unlocked, which is unusual, but not overly alarming. I entered and kept quiet in case Ben was asleep, but it didn't take long for me to notice that his bedroom door was wide open. That's when my eye caught the shadow of his hanging body. I ran up to the doorway and saw him on full display, and, well, I froze from shock. It was immediately clear that there was nothing I could do. He wasn't moving. He wasn't making a sound, and his face was blue. The world didn't make sense until I got my bearings. Took a small step and heard the cracks of broken glass under my shoe. I saw the mirror shards, and I realized that he didn't do that to himself. Someone must have done it to him. I carefully backed out of the room, called the emergency services, and they arrived shortly thereafter.
Did you notice any other relevant details in the room?
No, like I said, I was in shock. My friend was dead, murdered. I needed to get the authorities there, and I had to go pray.
Understandable. Who do you think did this to Ben?
I don't know. But he had plans to meet someone that night. A lost soul, he said. I never inquired in detail, saw no need to ask more. Now I obviously wish I had.
Did Ben keep records of his meetings?
He did, but none were found, so I can only assume that the killer disposed of them.
Sounds likely. Was there anyone that he was seeing like this regularly?
I'm sure. I wouldn't know any specifics. I haven't been involved in that work lately.
I see. Thanks.
We might as well ask about the mirrors since he recognized one.
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Well, they're pagan instruments used for millennia. It would seem to me they have some ritualistic purpose for the Soothsayer.
What makes you say that? Couldn't they just be a signature or a decoy even?
No, I was there. That room, it was a place of sacrifice. The view of my departed friend was a monstrous display. I shall never forget it.
Let's ask a little bit more about this area.
I don't want to ask him about that. Care to tell me about your church?
Well, the King of Kings is a
hold on.
Catholic church with roots. These days, we're
I see. So,
coming up on...
oh wow.
I suppose so.
Yeah. I don't want to ask him about that.
Really, no, that's an impressive mirror or anything.
You've got quite a nice plot here in the middle of the city.
I suppose so, yes. It wasn't that special when the church was founded, but the city grew quite quickly around it when the mining in this area took off.
I'm glad we managed to resuscitate your old bird, even though I rarely tinker with anything that has more than 2 wheels.
Heh, biker, born and bred, are you? I used to drive a Zenkai in my younger days.
Oh, no shit. That's neat. I don't want to ask him about that.
I want to, like, this has got to come up, and yet he already said that I can't go in and look around.
I don't want to ask him about that. I don't want to ask him about that.
Okay, rectory it is.
Forgive my ignorance, but what is a rectory exactly?
A rectory houses the living quarters for the serving pastor, me that is, and it also contains office space and guest rooms for other important members of the congregation.
Do you know the Azure Sky Motel?
Never heard of it.
I feel like locations are usually going to be a little bit more familiar for people.
Do you know the Club of Hearts?
It may come as a shock to you, but I'm not the clubbing type.
But I was thinking that maybe Pastor Holloway went there, Deacon Holloway had mentioned it in passing. There's no reason for him to know about these people, but we will ask.
Have you ever heard of a drug called pyre?
I haven't, no. Why would you ask that?
Drug tests have shown that the Soothsayer victims had pyre in their bloodstream when they were killed.
That's preposterous. Ben wouldn't go near anything like that. He didn't even drink coffee.
Covertly drugged then, maybe? Or coerced?
Something along those lines. The Ben I knew would never voluntarily abuse narcotics.
Do you know who Hannah Verdew is?
I don't know.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair?
Except for Ben, I don't know much about any of these murder victims.
Does the name Rachel Wang mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, my child.
I think that's everything that I can think of.
All right, that's all. I'll let you get back to the repairs.
Very well. Take care, young lady.
All right, looks like that's all I'll be able to learn about the deacon here today.
It was just occurring to me that I really didn't look through the inventory, but when Kathy says that, I feel like we're good to go. So from here, we've got our choices between Constance Hill and Bear Creek. Bear Creek has got to be a ways outside the city, and my sense is that Constance Hill is either a different town or like a fairly distant district. Let's do Bear Creek.
Chirp free. Must be lacking tenants at the moment.
This is, by the way, the writing cabin getaway where Deborah Sinclair was found. Don't mind me, sir.
People have come by to pay their respects to Deborah.
Howdy!
By the way...
Hey there, buddy.
Welcome, visitor. You may place your tribute to our lost legend, Deborah Sinclair, on this rock. To your right.
Oh. Great. I'll get on with that in a minute. Who are you?
Name's Randy Mulkins, president of the one and only SSS.
SSS?
Sinclair's Saga Squad, of course. From whence do you hail, fair lady?
Oh, I live over in the city. Cassidy.
Ha! I mean, which fan club do you belong to?
Oh,
DDCC. I'm trying to think of like DLG. Dazzling Debbie's Chapter Chasers.
Dazzling Debbie's Chapter Chasers. Of course.
Never heard of it. It must be local?
Yep. Yes, quite local. I'm Kathy, by the way. Kathy Rain.
Oh, that's a lovely name. It sounds like a character in a book.
Well, I certainly have days when I wish I was made up.
Whoa, that's deep.
Huh. Do you mind if I ask you a few things?
Always happy to talk to a fellow fan.
So, let's talk about Deborah.
My favorite topic. Don't mind if we do.
So, her death. Do you know what happened?
Well, I follow the news like everybody else. I didn't think much of the killings. These things happen. But never in a million years would I expect poor Deb to become a victim.
So, do you know the sequence of events exactly?
Supposedly, some maniac came out here and stabbed her, right in this cabin. No sign of a forced entry, so either the door was open or she let him in.
Any idea of who would want to do that to her? Did she have any enemies?
No, everybody loved Debbie. Whoever did this is a twisted, sick person.
We still have to consider the possibility that it was, one of us.
A fan? No way. I refuse to believe that.
Well, what about the fact that one of the victims was killed on the anniversary of Storm Chaser?
Yeah, that's an odd one. Not sure what to think, but in the end, only the killer knows why he chose that date.
Would anyone benefit from her death then? Some relative who would get the book royalties, maybe?
She had no close relatives, so I'm not sure who would be next in line. I'd be surprised if she had no written will, though. I bet most of that money will go to charity, benefiting Native Americans.
Do you know if Deborah was writing a new book when she died?
Oh, yes. Years in the making. Enshrouded in mystery. Now we'll never get to read it.
Do you know what it was about?
I wish, but no. Deb was tight-lipped about that one. All she stated publicly is that it wasn't a sequel.
Have you ever met Deborah in person?
Oh, for sure. A bunch of times. Only briefly, though. At fan gatherings, book signings, and things like that.
What's your favorite Deborah Sinclair book?
Oh, man. That depends on my mood. But I generally have a weak spot for her early experimental work, like Evermore and The Guidance.
This makes me wish that I'd taken a few notes on the publication dates of the other books that she'd made, because when he says, what did he say, one of the older experimental ones, for all I know, one of those is super new and might be a subtle clue that this guy is not who he claims to be. He seems on the up and up, but it would be interesting to just fact check him against somebody else.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
Only that he took a legendary author away from us.
Do you know anything about scrying mirrors?
Not really. I just heard that they were connected to the murders.
Do you know anything about the deacon who was murdered by the Soothsayer?
Oh, I don't know anything about those other victims. Sorry.
I figured that might take a bunch of the options off.
Have you heard of a drug called pyre?
Nope. Never heard of that.
And so far, there's nothing suspicious about either the priest or this man not knowing about it, because even, Kathy was not aware of it, and even the drug dealer is like, oh, I think I've heard of that, but I don't even know exactly how to get it.
Do you know the Club of Hearts?
Sure. It's an exclusive poetry club in Southside Cassidy. Love the place.
Oh, neat. You're a regular?
Sure am. Poetry is my kind of jam.
So we know that Hannah Verdew is linked to that place, but I don't know if it's common knowledge.
Do you know who Hannah Verdew is?
Oh, sure. She's a leading figure in the Cassidy poetry scene. I always try to drop by the Club of Hearts when I'm in town.
Ah, I see. Have you met her?
An average guy like me? I wish. I've seen her from a distance in her club, but that's about it.
I don't need to ask him about that. Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
No siree. I'm a Buddhist.
Have you heard of the Azure Sky Motel?
Azure Sky. Azure Sky. Nope.
That's a nice little shrine you've set up here.
Isn't it? People have come from all over the country to send Deborah off.
So, how long have you been parked here?
Let me think. 10 days-ish?
Holy Well, that's some dedication, buddy.
Hey, thanks.
I don't know why he would have opinions about the firewood or birdhouse, but then again, I wasn't really expecting him to have anything to say about the Heart of Hearts. House of Hearts? Whatever it's called.
I don't want to ask him about that. I don't want to ask him about that. I don't want to ask him about that.
Very disinterested in talking about multiple things.
I see you brought drinks.
Yep. Perfect weather for some iced tea.
I wonder if there's still any of Deborah's mail in there.
I doubt it. If there was, the cops must have taken it.
So it would be pretty interesting to have a look inside the cabin, huh?
Oh, I have definitely entertained the thought. Who wouldn't want a closer look inside the famous cabin of Deborah Sinclair?
So why not? There's no one else here. I won't tell if you won't.
That's so? I'm not sure your intentions are pure. Maybe if I knew you were a true fan of Deborah Sinclair.
Oh, but I am. I told you. I'm a longtime member of Dazzling Debbie's Chapter Chasers. You know, the old DDCC.
Uh-huh. Then I guess you wouldn't mind answering a few questions about our favorite author. Now, would ya?
Of course not. That would be easy peasy for an avid fan like me.
I'm glad. Let me just dig out this old beaut for you then. Behold, the official SSS membership application form.
A written quiz? Are you fucking serious?
You chicken. Yeah, I figured you were just a poser.
Oh, shut up and give me that thing.
There you are. Let me know when you're ready to hand it in.
Yeah.
Sure thing. That reminds me, I just have to go use the restroom at the nearest public library. Wait, are we... We're still asking him about life in the world.
I don't want to ask him about that. That's a nice flower pot over there.
Oh, yes. Deborah adored those.
This is the handwritten note that talked about the pyre. I haven't shown it to anybody yet. I feel like we've gone as far as we can with that, and we've asked him about every topic.
I'll let you get back to your reading.
Don't be a stranger.
I guess I need to read up on Deborah. There's probably some useful information at the library.
And I'm going to assume that we cannot venture over here until we have earned this man's trust. Is that correct?
A healthy lavender plant. Smells nice. Those must create some cozy ambiance at night. It's got a lock on it. Guess Deborah didn't want people snooping through her mail. Fuel for a heater or a fireplace. That little supply won't last long in the winter, but this place probably isn't set up for year-round occupancy.
Well, I didn't look at the cooler separate from
Looks like he brought refreshments.
talking to him about it. And then the door is off limits. I'm going to click on it, but...
Shoot, the cops didn't leave the door open. Just my luck, huh?
Now, I've got a lockpick set, but we have the terms of his arrangement. Like, we have to answer the thing. I would like to take a look at this to get a sense for what we might be looking for. In between installments of the Jenny Payne series, Deborah wrote 2 other books. What do those books have in common? Oh, wow. And you got to type it as well. I actually really like this. So let's go to the library. Because I'm not, like, just off the first one, I'm not going to remember that. Now, we can go to the library immediately, but since we're so far out of town at Bear Creek anyway, let's stop by Constance Hill, and then maybe we can hit the library on the way out of there.
Here we are, Constance Hill. This better be worth the trip.
This is our thinnest lead about Jane Doe, the victim who the police, as far as I know, were never able to identify.
There's a fairly big mountain range up north. Oh, neat. I can see my office building from here. What do you know? Nothing but grime. The city of Gleam in all its glory. This must be it. This is where they found Jane Doe. No obvious clues. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I guess there isn't much to find in this place. Well, it ain't city concrete if it isn't covered in spray paint. Looks like this place was a party spot. It ain't...
Okay, we can't go up and down, and those are the only 2 things. This is just, it's such an oddly specific thing that, like, clearly we're meant to do something with it. But what would it be? Rubbing the makeup brush over this graffiti is not going to be helpful. We don't have anything to tape. I guess I could take a picture of it, like maybe that symbol is relevant.
My Michiru instant camera. It's loaded with plenty of film. That doesn't need a photo.
Okay, figured that we'd give it a shot. This is incredibly metagaming about it's sort of showing me a close-up of something that doesn't... We could dust the bottle for prints, but here's the thing. Jane Doe died months ago. Jane Doe died, yeah, according to my notes, April 25th. Okay, so that was weeks ago. We can try it.
Let's keep things more sensible than that.
All right. I don't think that we have a reason to be examining this right now.
Hey! You're not supposed to be here!
It's a free country, nut job. Step off before you get hurt.
Your face is all wrong! Take it off!
Stun gun.
Christ. Cassidy junkies never disappoint. I'm not getting near that nutcase again.
We can't loot the body? What kind of video game is this? Fire pit is what we can't look into. Log.
Thanks for the assist, Mr. Log.
I'm gonna say that we don't need a picture of this. Should I take a picture of the scorch marks? I don't know why the camera is suddenly in my head. It just feels like we haven't done anything at this location.
Not a bad idea, but I might want to put on the pendant first.
Really? Oh, that was not going to occur to me. Earth, wind, and fire. Let's do it. But put it on, though. But no, I want to be over here.
I already looked here. There's no clues to be found. That doesn't make any sense to me. I've got earth and fire present here, but I didn't quite catch the wind.
Maybe we wait for the wind to blow her hair? Okay, it blows twice, so we'll try it right then.
That should be it. I better get this back to Meadow.
Okay. That was not what I came here for. I figured that there had to be some reason that we would come out here, not just to, oh, I can see my office from here. And, man, if there's something else here... That's all, unless we want to tape that guy's hands behind his back, but... And that changes our itinerary. I think that now we're going to go back and talk to Meadow, because, again, my thought is that we were invited there, like, specifically today, and I just feel like I don't know her availability. She seems a little bit flighty.
Enter! Wow, look at you! You're positively glowing!
Thanks, I guess. I took that picture you wanted.
Oh, that's okay. I can see that your chakra is well taken care of. Oh, aren't you supposed to have scars, though?
Scars? What are you on about? I've got plenty of emotional ones, if that counts.
Oh, never mind. I must be confusing you with someone else. Have a seat, love.
We wanted to talk to her about scrying mirrors specifically.
So, Eileen tells me you know a thing or two about scrying mirrors?
You could say that. I am a practicing clairvoyant. What do you want to know?
What can a scrying mirror be used for?
A scrying mirror is a powerful artifact that can be used to channel the astral realm, perform divination, and even commune with spirits.
Ah, can you walk me through your scrying process?
Sure. First off, the room should be dimly lit, preferably by candlelight. I like to use sage smoke to cleanse the air, and then I establish a protective circle to keep any negative energies at bay. I gently place the mirror in a steady position where I can look into it without using my hands. I make sure that the surface is clean and polished. I sit down, relax, calm my thoughts, and close my eyes. I visualize my intent, the knowledge I seek. When I'm ready, I open my eyes and gaze through, not into, the mirror.
I see. And this is when you're supposed to get the visions?
With some patience, yes. The scrying is not always successful, mind you. Spirits are a fickle bunch.
Why is obsidian used in traditional scrying mirrors?
Because of its rich mystical potency, of course. Obsidian is strongly grounded in the astral plane, which makes it ideal not only as a vessel for divination, but also for protecting the scryer and cleansing any negative energies.
So it's pretty much spiritual duct tape?
Spot on, sister.
Where can I get a scrying mirror?
You're in luck. I have a spare one right here.
My emergency backup.
Someone I don't like left it after a botched divination, so I'm totally fine with giving it to you and pretending I never saw it.
Sure. Thanks.
Oh, and just so you know, this is just made of painted glass. All serious practitioners use obsidian mirrors, so don't expect too much, okay?
I'll try to keep my expectations in check. Can we do a scrying session together?
Sure. I charge $250 per session. I can pen you in next week.
I think I'll pass on that one. What do you know about the Soothsayer?
Quite the enigma, aren't they? A soothsayer is a seer, a pursuer of wisdom. An obsessive search for truth often leads down a dark and twisted path. Perhaps that is what happened to our killer?
So do you think the Soothsayer is legit? The business with the mirrors isn't just for show?
Oh, I'm just a silly Wicca. But wouldn't it be goofy to go through all of that trouble just to make everyone think there's something they're not?
Yeah, I guess.
If someone else besides our drug dealer is going to know about Pyre.
Have you heard of a drug called Pyre?
Nope. Good old shrooms are my kind of high.
Huh, I can see that. Not a fan of psychedelics myself. This gal's got a truckload of emotional baggage. Way too much fuel for bad trips. I see on this poster of yours that you're familiar with the Club of Hearts.
Yep. It's one of my favorite spots in the city.
Yeah? What's so great about it?
Oh, everything. The vibe, the poetry, the people.
Sounds interesting. I'm planning to check the place out tomorrow.
Oh, that's super neat. I'm sure it'll do wonders for your chakras. They're still pretty crappy, you know.
Yeah. I bet they are.
I'm not going to lie, I had not seen that poster on the wall.
Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
No churches for me. Certified heathen over here.
Huh. We should form a club. Do you know the Azure Sky Motel?
Nope, not a motel enthusiast.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair, the latest Soothsayer victim?
I don't stay up to date on murders and stuff like that. No offense.
Do you know who Hannah Verdu is?
Of course. She's the one and only queen of the Club of Hearts.
Yeah? Are you two friendly?
Oh no, I'm just a mere patron at her club. I would be surprised if she knew I existed.
Offer to look into a mirror with her for $250, and I bet that she'll remember you then.
I don't want to ask her about that.
Like, we just talked about this, so it might be a repeat.
I see on this poster of yours that you're from...
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay.
Sounds... What's that glowy thing on your fridge?
Don't worry about that. It's perfectly harmless.
Literally just a chunk of the blob.
This incense here is, pungent.
Thanks! Do you want to know the secret?
Sure.
Smelling salts!
Uh-huh. Nice dream catchers.
Thanks, love. I made them myself.
I think that's everything. Yeah, unexpected visit here. Unless there's... Oh, we can ask her about the pendant, now that we're done with it, as far as I know.
Do you want this back?
You should hold on to it. Your chakras still need a lot of work.
Do you want to see the photo I took when I, realigned my chakras?
Oh, no need. That photo was for you, not me.
Thanks for giving me this thing.
Oh, no worries. Honestly, I'm happy to be rid of it.
It has 3 ghosts inside of it. And then there's no reason I can think of to ask about these other things. Hannah, or sorry, Meadow, whatever her name is, it's not T. I think we're done here.
Time for me to go. See ya.
Bye now.
All right, let's see if we can hit up the library. And oops, just in case, let's have a chat with librarian.
Hey there. Back again. Can I get some help?
Certainly. What can I do for you today?
If anything, we might want that autobiography that he was talking about before, but we do have a few new topics we never asked this man about.
I don't want to ask him about that.
Really? I very much want to ask the librarian if he knows about this super exotic drug.
Do you know who Hannah Verdu is?
As a matter of fact, I do. She owns the Club of Hearts, a poetry club. I don't know much else about her, though. She moves in high circles.
Have you been to the Club of Hearts?
Sure. Great place for word connoisseurs like myself.
I don't want to ask him about that.
I don't know what he would possibly have to say about the handwritten note or the chakra pendant.
I don't want to show that to him. I don't want to show that to him.
And then I do... Well, we can show him the quiz.
What do you make of this?
I know for certain that Deborah's adoptive father is Sebastian Willis Sinclair. I'm not sure how that relates to some kind of pseudonym, however. I can't shed much light on the other queries, but the computer at the end of the hall might be useful.
Got it. Thanks.
Wait, that seemed actually really helpful. I just need to see the name again. It was Sebastian Willis Sinclair, is that correct?
What do you make of...
I know
Yeah.
for certain I can't...
Got it.
The note's out, tape roll's out, makeup brush. It would be very funny for me to just hold up a random makeup brush. What do you make of this? Hey, how about this photo?
I don't want to show that to him. I don't want to show that to him.
Okay, they were worth a shot.
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of irritated with myself that I didn't do all of the engineering tasks to repair the engine. I've now convinced in my own head that there was an achievement to not make any mistakes and that I will have missed it. So... Well, then again... We know that she wrote another book. That was the first question. She wrote another book in the middle of these, but we don't know what it might have been. So let's take a look at these publication dates. And I'm going to have to make some notes. I need a new strip of paper. Here we go. Okay, so Stage Fright was... I'm just going to write down Jenny 1. Was 1/20/85. Jenny 2 was 11/19/89. and Jenny 3 was 93. 5593. So now we just have to find anything that happened. I should probably take a look. Let me take a look at the quiz again. By the way, so that we even know what 3 things we're trying to answer. Between installments of the Jenny Payne series, wrote 2 other books. What do the books have in common? So we do need to find, I'm just going to make a note for myself, 2 books. What alternate pseudonym or pen name has Daniel Sinclair occasionally used? Hint, adoptive father. So that's where what we're going to do is we're going to put in an author search for Willis or Willis Sinclair to see what we can come up with. So we do need to know pseudonym. And that's where I'm going to put in Willis Sinclair. I bet waiting for me to write down with a pen is great for you guys, and I apologize. I try to be as quick as possible, but this is part of being a detective. Ghost wrote a chapter for a friend of hers in what novel? Wait, we read this because this is one or more books. It was the co-author of her... Was it her autobiography? We read this in like episode 1, part 1. So we do need to know the ghostwriter. In what novel? And that's going to be a novel. It was the only other thing that guy wrote, and I just don't remember the name right now. Complete Deborah's famous writer's block remedy. Gently daydreaming in a rocking hammock, surrounded by the smell of what and sipping a glass of what? So we want smell, sipping, and I'm just going to put in writer's block just very quickly. All right. The pseudonym one we found before, was it Storm Chaser? No, that's fiction. And, well, hold on. That is between our... Yeah, that was between Jenny 1 and Jenny 2, was 87. And this is about a Native American warrior. So I'm just going to write in Native American warrior. And now let's find anything else that she published between the 3 Jenny books. 83 was before the first Jenny book. 96 was after the last one. 91 was in there. Native American tribeswoman. So, shall we put in Native Americans? Wendigo. Let me just go look at the other one again. Free his tribe, American settlers. Oh no, which one was it? Here it is, Afflicted. Yeah, it looks like they're both about Native American protagonists, so I think that that's our answer. We'll probably put that in. Now, we need that pseudonym, but we also need the co-writer on whatever one that was. Which one was it? Was it Unbound? Stephen Collins, that's who it was. So, Collins. The Mauve Affair. This is what we read last time, because it was theorized in here, rumored to contain ghost-written chapters by several other authors. So we wanted the name of the author of the novel, so The Mauve Affair. And I'm going to have to spell out M-A-U-V-E. Affair. Got that. Now, the other thing that we not wanted was the pseudonym. There we go. Wow, I honestly thought that we would have to redo it as Willis or as Sebastian. Because Sebastian would make a pretty killer last name as well. My name is Madison Sebastian. So wait, what did we want to know about this? Oh no, I don't remember the question. So I'm just going to write down saltpeter. Which again is another word. You would think, oh, saltpeter, that's real easy. But I always wonder if it's like R-E at the end. Okay, let's take a look at the quiz again to see what we can fill in. I hope she's writing this in pencil. In what novel? So this is going to be Saltpeter. Wait, no. What? Sorry. Again, hopefully in pencil. So, in what novel? This was The Mauve Affair. This was... It was Sebastian, right? I just want to double check that I'm spelling that correctly, because I feel like Mr. Superfan there is going to, oh, you didn't dot that I. And then what do these both books have in common? We're going to put in Native Americans. I'm also trying to think, like, also, this is a video game, so I might put in Native American protagonists. However, I think that might be too much information. And then the writer's block remedy is what we don't have. Just double check the Sebastian Willis Sinclair. Well, that's it. I mean, wait, but this was written in 63. That's way before her time. Darn it, that's not going to be correct. However, what about Ellis Harrow? Yeah, I didn't look at the publication date before. Let's look up Ellis Harrow. Are there any other names in here? Saltpeter Works. All right, let's look up Harrow and Ellis. Ellis Harrow. Because all of her other books fell, like, in the 80s and 90s. I don't see that. Here we go. Saltpeter is Sebastian Willis Sinclair. D. Willis. Deborah Willis. Here we go. So wait, I'm so sorry. Now what did I want? This was written in 94. So she did like a Stephen King, and in the middle of her popularity, she published under a different name. What was the question, though? Maybe, I think it was what was the name of the pseudonym, and I think it was D. Willis. All right, let's double check that. Oh, and also just look at the topic. Rugged Wild West, fiercely independent woman, crosses paths with Jake Turner. This is very sort of like Westerny, which is what she seemed to be known for. I'm glad I didn't turn this in with wrong answers. Hey, Kathy, what's all those eraser marks? I thought you were a super fan. Now, we still need the writer's block. The only place that it makes sense for that would be in the autobiography. Series of interviews by Stephen Collins. Where else would we find this information? It could be in the newspapers. But wait, why would the newspapers be writing about her cure for writer's block? I'm looking for any mention of smelling or sipping anything. Nope. Mr. Clock. Interesting name. Oops, darn it, I'm so sorry. But what else would we look at? Collins was her co-writer. That we've read about. And then The Mauve Affair was the only other book that he ever wrote about. One of the newspaper articles did have, like, previous information about Deborah Sinclair. But I think we want to go back to, like, the first one. This is when she was dead and just not going to be a big topic of conversation. So how did she get over writer's block? Let's go back to the beginning. But I want to look at some of the things right away. Book signing, big business. Massive turnout, fans lined up, Midnight and Me. Remember when I was looking for that one? That's why I remembered it. And recent novel Midnight and Me has captured the hearts of readers worldwide. And this was like earlier this year and it's not listed. That is so weird. But let's not get super caught up on that for right now. This doesn't say anything about writer's block. It's about K9 units, art funding. At some point, I do want to look up Charles and Erica Wade. That sounds very familiar to me. Rare Birds. Cyber Shack. Creative Protest. I was looking for the name Sinclair anyplace. Cassandra Beckett. Hold on. Deborah Sinclair book set for Hollywood adaptation. Thorns of the Wild. No, she's excited about doing a movie. Doesn't say anything about her cures for writer's block. Although, like some of these other... Thorns of the Wild? Did we see that one in there? I'm just going to make a quick note of Thorns of the Wild. I feel like it's a real long shot, but what if there's like a typo in the computer system so it doesn't come up? Task force established. Tension at town hall meeting. Dirt race. Nothing, nothing. And there could be something in here that I have completely forgotten. Just some weird color of the moment where she was well known for her cure for writer's block. And there could be clues at her actual house. Because remember that she went there... Oh, actually, maybe it's where she went. The smell of pine and the sipping of wine. Didn't we hear about her drinking wine a bunch? Or did I make this up? There's been a lot of details about these various people, and I might be confusing them. Let's go ask the librarian, because that man was just Mr. Deborah Sinclair. He knew everything about everything.
A bunch of magazines. Mostly celebrity gossip, it looks like.
Any of them about Deborah Sinclair specifically? Like, let's use the quiz on the magazines.
What am I even trying to do here?
Just compare notes.
One more thing.
Yes?
Can I show you what I've got so far? Let me just ask him about Deborah Sinclair. I know it's grayed out.
Can I pick your brain about Deborah Sinclair again?
Sure. What are you curious about?
Murder, books, popular author, private life.
What do you know about Deborah's private life?
She had quite an interesting life. Adopted as a child, and her adoptive father, Sebastian Willis Sinclair, was an accomplished author in his own right. Deborah's birth mother was a young homeless woman, and her father was a Native American. Deborah spent much of her life trying to track down her biological father, unsuccessfully. Perhaps in some part due to her roots. She was childless and unmarried when she passed away. If you are curious to learn more...
Oh, I might check that out.
I want to look at that.
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
At that autobiography. I'm wondering if there is a way to check it out, because in part 1, we clicked on the bookshelf and Kathy was like, well, I'm going to go look in the computer.
If I need a book, I should use the computer.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a copy of Unbound. Is there any, like, check out button? Search. Nothing. Series of interviews by Stephen Collins, which we already looked up. Let's just look up that other name. It was Thorns of the Wild. Nope. And then Midnight and Me. Absolutely not. Huh. So I have a relatively strong sense. It's a reasonable guess, I think, that the smell of the pine forest and then the drinking of wine. I really hope so. It could be sherry, it could be port, it could be something else, but maybe this? Let me show it to the guy on the way out, but I don't know what else we would look at. We haven't talked to anybody else that knows a lot about Deborah Sinclair, anybody else that we could quiz. I guess we could ask Eileen.
One more thing.
Yes?
Can you just check my answers, sir?
What do you make of this?
I know for certain I can't shed much light on the...
Got it.
All right, I think that's everything that we've got for now.
I don't want to ask him about that.
Sorry.
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
And I think we'll take a look to see the results of our best guesses in the next part. We will see you in the next one.